Ooh, ooh,
Hey, Eagles post-game live. Usually I would be pretty upset about any Eagles loss, but I can't be the last 2 weeks. So let's start with this, Just. Eagles post-game. You took the Eagles to win outright, but you more than covered with the spread. I thought they were going to get blown out, and they came back and showed me a lot that I really didn't see coming.
I did.
So to start, the Ravens dominated this game in the first half. Really, for the first 3 quarters of this football game, it looked like it was going to be a blowout. For whatever reason, the Ravens kind of stopped doing what they didn't really stop doing what they were doing. The Eagles were actually playing pretty well. It was just a couple big plays, the long Lamar Jackson run. It looked like the linebackers weren't getting torched all game. They were kind of in place, but it seemed to fit our defense, being able to just run with Lamar side to side and not have to do too much in coverage. Is that what you saw, or did you see something different?
Yeah, I told you, bro. Lamar is not a quarterback, bro. He is Michael Vick in 2002. He runs real fast, real good, and if you contain his legs, he cannot do anything else. Now, let's not pretend like if the Eagles didn't spend a quarter and a half before they got their first down of the game, that they don't win this game. If they executed better in the first half, they win this game, period.
Yeah, you can't feel good about the loss, but a bunch of shit happened. First of all, the game opened up. First play of the game, Carson Wentz gets sacked. I go, here we go. Like this is going to be Calais Campbell on Jack Driscoll is going to be the longest nightmare matchup that I've ever seen in my life, and it was for most of the game. Not only did Driscoll get hurt, so Toth fills in for him at right tackle, gets beat around the corner pretty much every time. Carson just has to step up, get rid of the ball, just figure out what to do with Toth over there. Miles Sanders goes out of the game. Zach Ertz goes out of the game. One starter left on the Eagles, Jason Kelce, to go with Carson Wentz. And this guy not only almost wins the game, should have won by 10 to 14 points. Hightower should have been able to track that ball down. He should have caught that on the run. That should have probably been a
Ward heard footsteps and lost one.
Zach Ertz dropped a football, and then Miles Sanders dropped one in the end zone. So you're looking at a 30 to 28 game, and realistically probably should have been 40 to 30, 42 to 30. They should have gotten an extra field goal from Jake Elliott. That Jake Elliott field goal actually ended up being the difference. I'm not blaming Jake Elliott. It's a 51-yard field goal. It's the wide receiver's fault. They drop passes. He can't throw and catch the ball. I am pumped for next week, and I know you said if we lose this, so you said something to me when we were going live before the game. You said if the Eagles lose this game, we have no shot to win the division. What do you think after watching this game?
Well, that was before Dakota Prescott tore his ankle to shreds. I mean, it's the Eagles' division to lose.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys, we'll see how they play. That game's going on right now, I believe. It's not a Sunday night game, right? That's a 4:15 game, so we'll go watch that. But realistically, you're, a game and a half back? With the Giants.
I mean, even if the Cowboys win, you're a game and a half back. They're a half game back right now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a half game back. If the Cowboys win right now, they're a game and a half back.
Right. I don't know. I know you like the Cowboys because you think Andy Dalton's going to do something. I don't see it on. I mean, this cat's not played with the first team. Andy Dalton has been practicing with the first team of this team, and it's a poorly coached team and a poorly managed team. I think at the end of this week, the Eagles remain a half game back with a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence coming off of almost beating, and again, should have beat the second or third best team in the league by anybody else's standards. They're going to destroy the Giants, and then they have a pretty easy schedule the next couple of weeks after the Giants game. This is prime for them to do something big, but again, a 6, a 7, and 8 win team is not making noise in the playoffs this year.
No, of course not. But you have to start thinking in this way, too. If the Eagles stay close and then you get Deshaun back and then you get Alshon back and then Lane Johnson comes back. And then even if Peters comes back, you might end up sticking with Mailata. But at some point, Brandon Brooks is now doing 32-inch box jumps in the gym. You have to assume if they get to, are creeping around the playoffs, he might be able to come back. Herbig is filled in at left guard. So your line's going to be solidified in 2 to 3 weeks if Lane Johnson can kind of fight through an ankle injury. Your wide receivers are going to come back. You're getting experience from your depth, which could play a factor later in the season. And then your defense looked – you give up 30 points, but the defense actually looked pretty good today against a potentially explosive offense, especially in the second half.
It was no chunk plays.
Yeah, that's all it was. So I saw Davion Taylor on the field a little bit today. Kevon Wallace got injured. I don't think he ever came back. Will Parks looks like he played. He was in position. He didn't make a ton of tackles. I think he was on the field a couple times. The defense looked reasonable.
Look good, bro. They look good. This is good. I got to go cook dinner for my kids because it's my day. It's Sunday. But I had to get on with you to say I am telling you that 9.5 at home is too much for any team. Kansas City come in here. Aaron Rodgers come in here. 9.5 is too many points. They will not lose that bad at home when there are any fans in that stadium. There's only 6,000 today, but I told you so. So I'm 7-2 after the early, and you're 6-3. The only difference that we've got is the Cardinals-Cowboys game. So we'll see how this ends. We'll get back on live either tonight, tomorrow. We'll try to pop back on. If you want to keep going, bro, keep rolling. I got to run.
I got you.
All right, man.
All right. So the couple things I want to mention for a lot of the Carson Wentz haters here. I'll ask you guys a question. Does anybody realistically think the way that this team is structured with this offensive line, with these backup receivers, that Nick Foles could have done anything like Carson Wentz has done today? Nick Foles, Allen Robinson, Jimmy Graham. He's got a well-built offensive line. He's got Matt Nagy as his coach. He's got John DeFilippo as his QB's coach, I believe, right now. He's got a couple guys in the backfield that I wouldn't call prime running backs, but he's got weapons on offense, and he's got a great defense that he can lean on when he's not performing. If you watch this game, so Wentz got sacked 7 times. One of them, realistically, maybe was a coverage sack. He didn't really held onto the ball a couple plays this game. But when you have a makeshift offensive line and you still have all your backup wide receivers and you're plugging guys in for your second and third string guys to just put bodies out there basically, and you come within 2 points of beating the Ravens, which was really a bad play call at the end, but it is what it is. I mean, I couldn't believe they were even back in that football game. So the Eagles ended up with basically one starter left on offense, which was Jason Kelce. You were handing the ball off to Boston Scott. Brent Toth filled in at right tackle. He's from Army. Jack Driscoll was your guy at right tackle from Auburn. He got his ankle twisted up, knocked out of the game. Lane Johnson was already out. You go to right guard. Brown played at right guard. He had one of the worst games I've seen from any guard that we've had in the last decade. Calais Campbell was eating that side of the line alive. Jason Kelce was in the middle. Nate Herbig was at left guard. He had a false start penalty at one point last game, but overall did pretty well. And then Jordan Mailata, who got beat a couple times this game, but he's playing his third football game ever. Not NFL game, not college game, nothing. His third football game ever. You compound that by losing your starting running back, who's probably the only person on that team that could break any type of long play to give your team an opportunity to win. You're plugging in Hightower, who dropped a 50-yard dime from Carson Wentz. Your starting running back dropped a touchdown in the end zone. And then Travis Fulgham came up big for you at the end of the game again. 3 touchdown passes, 260-something total yards for Wentz after a horrible first half. I don't know how – somebody has to explain to me how you can watch this football game and think that there's almost any other wide receiver or any other quarterback in this league that can do what Carson Wentz just did. Everybody talks about Aaron Rodgers always had makeshift receivers. He's had to plug and play. Well, he hasn't had to plug and play with his entire offensive line. For the most part, when he's had bad receiving, and listen, Aaron Rodgers is an elite QB. Carson Wentz is a level below that. But given Carson's abilities, the coaching staff, the offensive line that was put together, the weapons that he has, to put up 28 points on the second-ranked defense in the league and make a comeback like that was phenomenal. I'm excited to see them play the Giants on Thursday. It's still anybody's division. Travis Fulgham is the second wide receiver, I believe, in Eagles history to catch a touchdown pass in his first 3 games. The only other wide receiver to do that for the Eagles was Terrell Owens, who's probably the third best wide receiver of all time. So that's promising. I was looking, he kind of was not even around for the whole first half of the game, started to come alive. He did drop a couple tough coverage passes, but they did a good job covering him today. Zach Ertz went out with an injury. Carson Wentz threw a touchdown pass to a guy. I have a whole Twitter feed of guys saying, who the fuck is Jason Kroom? Jason Kroom caught the third touchdown pass or the fourth touchdown pass from Carson Wentz today. They just signed this guy last week to be a backup tight end because they were running low, and he catches a touchdown pass. The whole wide receiver core and tight end core at this point is from the practice squad. The whole offensive line is third-string guys at this point. So if you can start to get healthy around the middle of the season and keep this within a 2-game stretch for the division, and we'll see how the Cowboys and the Cardinals play out. You have to like the Eagles' chances in the division if they continue to get healthy throughout the season, which you can't get any more injured unless Carson Wentz goes down. And at this point, that might be a blessing for him, but Jalen Hurts would not be able to do anything behind this line with this set of receivers and these skill position guys. So that is all I have. If anybody, listen, stop with the Carson Wentz slander. That was one of the more incredible performances that I've seen. So everybody was, dishing out stuff to Carson last year. Oh, yeah, he won those last 4 games with practice squad guys, but he played the Redskins and the Giants and the Cowboys. It was all the NFC East. Well, you can only play who's in front of you. And today, the Baltimore Ravens were in front of them. Second best defense in the league, one of the best rushing offenses in the league. This guy almost willed them to a victory. I don't want to hear any more Carson Wentz slander. I actually won't answer any more Carson Wentz slander. And that was a pretty incredible game by him. Signing off, big facts. We'll be back either after this late slate of games or sometime tomorrow or Tuesday. You guys have a good Sunday afternoon. Keep your head up because that was a phenomenal performance by a bunch of replacements. Take it easy.